Hello, everybody. What's up, boys? How's it going?
What's up, gentlemen?
Evening.
It looked like a lot of people watched part one, so we got to get part two turned around here quickly.
All right. Three guys who've never won the league critiquing your rosters.
Do you know how good the YouTube algorithm actually is? Today, it recommended to me videos of three other dudes with beards and stuff who talk fantasy sports. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah?
like you could have just opened it and been us, basically. So apparently we're a dime a dozen, and if you want to talk about any fantasy sports, it's YouTube and scroll for three dudes who look like us.
So we're gonna need all those. We're gonna need all those views so that we can actually get the sponsorship.
Yeah, these dudes look
Exactly.
like they had some. They were selling chain wallets and grunge hoodies. So where we going, Kamesh? What are we going to look at tonight?
All right, so let's do the remaining 8 teams. These teams right now are projected to finish in to qualify for the playoffs. So I say we pick up where we left off. We'll keep doing what we did, what we like about their teams. Maybe pick one player that you think was their best choice, and maybe one player you think you would have personally passed on. Again, this is just our opinion. Doesn't mean anything. We've never won the league, so we're not trying to be too critical, but just have some fun with it. So if everybody's okay with that, I say we just pick up where we left off.
Sounds good.
All right, so
it was very
right
clear
now,
since last time that you guys know all the football, and I just tag along for this one.
I don't know about that, man.
Does that have us Saquon's thighs? Is that
That is correct.
Team number 8?
That is correct. Team number 8 is Saquon's thighs, right now projected to make the playoffs. So I'll just pull up her team real quick. Last year, she was Rookie of the Year. She was the only rookie. All right, so her first overall pick, she had the 9th pick, was Nick Chubb, followed by Chris Carson, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Michael Gallup, Jamison Crowder, Preston Williams, Golden Tate, Justin Jackson, running back of the Chargers, Kirk Cousins, who does not apparently care if he dies from the virus, Vikings DST, Larry Fitzgerald, and then Josh Lambo. Now, we should also highlight, and I think we called this out in the last podcast, that Hannah, was doing this while working. So kudos. We see what we're up against, boys. This lady has come to play. She's not messing around. This comes before her career, so I definitely applaud that. We just got to keep our eye out here. This one's going to be a sneaky player. She's got a solid squad. It looks pretty decent in my opinion. I'm a big fan of Nick Chubb. I think Kareem Hunt worries me a little bit more than last year because he's gotten so much more time with the team. He's not suspended. He's been able to do training camp, even if it is in a limited fashion. So the pick I think that I like the most for her squad is Michael Gallup at the 5th round. I'm really big on Gallup this year. I think he's going to see a breakout. I think he's a potential breakout this year. He had a solid year last year when he was healthy. He actually scored more points or had a better production per target than Amari Cooper. So I am more in on Gallup than I am Cooper. So I love this in the 5th round. Typically in a 12-team league, he's going in approximately the 4th round. The 4th round. So she got him in a value, in my opinion, in a 16-team league. She has Tom Brady. I like that pick at 3rd. Maybe the pick I would give back is probably Tom Brady in the 3rd round. While Brady is poised to be extremely successful in Tampa Bay, I probably would have held out a little later in the draft. But then again, I'm always down on QBs. I think rounds 8 and 9 is where I start looking for a quarterback. because I want to try and fill up on the other positions, running back, wide receiver, or tight end. And I see she also grabbed Kirk Cousins. So this feels like more of an insurance policy. So to go so early on Tom Brady and then snag Kirk Cousins, kind of handcuffed her a little bit, in my opinion. She might have been able to grab a running back in the third round.
Or maybe there was just like a customer in the store.
That's actually a great point. Now, I didn't think about that. If that's the case, totally understand.
Yeah, be fair.
Yeah. No, and again, I'm not trying to be too critical. This is a solid squad. I mean, she's projected to make the playoffs. I think she's got a lot of wide receiver talent. I like her first two picks of Nick Chubb and Chris Carson. Nick Chubb is going to be the RB1, 1A. Chris Carson has no challengers right now. I don't care about Carlos Hyde. I think he's going to be a stud there. They love to run the ball in Seattle.
Yeah, I agree, actually. I thought you were spot on with Michael Gallup, and that's who I had written down as the best pick probably there, especially at that value. He's going to be the number 2 receiver there, and he's going to see a lot of looks.
I bet if you added up this entire team's age, it would be the oldest in the league. Tom Brady, Gronkowski, Golden Tate, Kirk Cousins, Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, this team is over 1,000 easily.
Yeah, right?
I do agree. I think Chris Carson also, that's a great pick. He's going to do really well. It's kind of weird how coveted last year Carlos Hyde was. Everyone wanted to have him. They traded for him, I believe it was the Texans, and then to send him to Seattle and see him maybe not even – he's fighting for a running back number 2 slot. Kind of shocking, but that's how quickly they fall off in the game. The one pick I would say I don't like, but I think I'm going to be proven wrong, is Gronk. I just think that player coming back, I think he's getting too much they're praising him a little too high with his projected points. But also, I mean, Jason Witten came back after a year off and killed it for the Cowboys. So maybe it won't affect him that much. Other than that, really, I would have gone with just one quarterback and grabbed another running back, like you said, Alex. I think that is a sound approach there, especially with only having 3 on the team and not really knowing much about Justin Jackson and if he's going to get any touches in Los Angeles.
Right. So, I mean, like you said, she has, I think she's a bit shallow at tight end. I think she could either Gronkowski, I think is going to have a decent year, but, she has some guys like Justin Jackson. I think he hurt his knee. She could drop to pick up a tight end. But, we have to keep in mind, she went 11-2 in the regular season. So, what the hell do we know?
Absolutely. Definitely, though, a very quality squad and a good team.
Absolutely. All right. So, Brian, anything you want to weigh in on that one, on Saquon's thighs?
No, you guys nailed it.
All right. Let's see. Who's number 7? That is Philly Special. Okay.
The only 2 guys to rent out a movie theater to cast their team, draft their team.
Yeah, is that their house?
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, they're balling. That's awesome.
That was something special. That was elite. I to tell you, bougie. Way to go, boys. Way to put the lagoon to shame. So not only drafting from an awesome spot, they had the first overall pick here, and this is a team. And I won't ramble on too long. I'll let other people weigh in. I think they've really benefited from the screwed up draft setup from ESPN. Not only getting Saquon Barkley, who I think is going to have an enormous year, but then having DeAndre Hopkins available for your second-round pick in a 16-team league. That's absurd. That's something you would see really, frankly, in a 10-team league, 8 to 10-team league. So these guys are off to a great start. I'll let Dennis or Brian, you guys can lead off on what you like, what you don't like, and then I'll chime in. How about that?
Take it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. I think we talked about Melvin Gordon. That's the one concern I would have on the team. Just the fact that they're finding it hard hard time getting him going up there in Denver. So that's kind of a concern there. But other than that, this team, it's a quality squad between Saquon, DeAndre Hopkins, Jared Cook, Marlon Mack. And I think their best pick and a very quality pick, I believe it was later in the draft, that they grabbed John Brown. I don't recall I think I recall he was out there, pretty late in the draft there, and that's a great pickup. I believe he's their second wide receiver out there. So I think they've got a really good roster here, a really good team. I guess other than Melvin Gordon, I don't know if it's a personal thing or not, but Cam Newton just doesn't really do it for me. So I guess maybe he would be my only other choice. But again, I think it's personal for some reason.
I love Cam Newton on a personal level too. I love it. He's cocky.
I think that these two bickered their way to a pretty decent team. Somehow they landed on all the right players. The bench is a little soft. I've had Marlon Mack let me down time after time. Same thing with John Brown. I mean, it's a good pick for where he was, but
Right.
I wouldn't take him. I just get burned on a guy like that who goes deep so often and then doesn't come down with any points in a game. Otherwise, the team looks good. Interested to see what Cam Newton has left in the tank and can do up in New England. I think it's a different atmosphere than he's ever played in, so see what he can pull out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. Cam Newton, it's kind of tough for him. I see they just cut Sanu.
Yeah, Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah. So after trading for a second round pick to acquire Sanu from the Falcons last year, they've cut him because he doesn't fit the scheme. It looks like they're going to rely on Harry and Edelman. I see that, this squad is kind of New England heavy, if you will, between Cam Newton and Julian Edelman. Actually, it's not that bad. They only have two players. I don't know why I thought they had a third New England Patriot. So the three picks that the Cam Newton, Edelman, then Marlon Mack, those are kind of some tough picks in my opinion. We're hoping Edelman and Newton have the same chemistry of Brady and that the Edelman had with Brady. Excuse me. Marlon Mack has Jonathan Taylor breathing down his neck. They said he's going to be, their starter to begin the season. So I think you're going to look at about 4 good weeks of production from him. So hopefully Melvin Gordon's able to win the job and you have a good running back 2 you could rotate in there. John Brown, I agree. It's a steal of a pick, is my favorite pick in the 10th round. Last year he saw 150 targets before Stephon Diggs came. He actually had over 1,000 yards receiving, but the problem is the touchdowns weren't there. So he was not getting you those 12 to 18-point games you would be expecting for somebody with that target load. So despite Stephon Diggs being there, I think he's still going to see a decent target share. I don't think it gets cut in half, but I think in the 10th round, that's a good pick. So, you have a solid wide receiver 1 in DeAndre Hopkins. You have a stud elite running back in Saquon Barkley. You have Cooper Kupp. So the wide receiving core on this team, I'm not worried about at all. Between Hopkins, Kupp, there's your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. And now your flex could be Julian Edelman or John Brown. You're okay. The running backs, I think, are going to be carried by Barkley. I think this is going to be a solid squad. It makes a lot of sense why it's projected to make the playoffs at this point.
Good.
All right. Who's number 6?
I don't actually have it in front of me.
Okay. All right.
It's Campaign Blazers.
Campaign Blazers.
I'm talking to myself. I'm on mute for the past 5 minutes.
That's great.
Oh, I love doing that.
All
right, let's see. Campaign Blazers.
I see you.
Yeah.
All right. She had the Campaign Blazers. We have some co-managers here. And this team is going to be very, very good. We got to keep an eye on the co-manager of Jack McFadden. We're going to keep an eye on him.
Okay.
There was some spreadsheet being used at the time that was helping to guide some picks. So I had my eyes on that. I am really pissed off about their 7th round pick. I was in line for the next pick. Oh, you're going Land Shark. All right, you know what? I'll join you.
Oh yeah, Sober September was canceled.
You're day 2. You're in
It was canceled, fellas.
You're in day 2. All right, so Dennis, I'll let you run down what you like about this squad, or Brian, you can kick it off. I'm grabbing a beer.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's just sharp. It's sharp at every angle. Diggs, Henry, Montgomery, Kels. I don't even know how this happened. It doesn't make sense. You say they have some sort of a cheat sheet, but I think they had some sort of software installed. I'm thinking this guy is Russian. He's got the inside with ESPN. He picked the perfect team or had it fall into their laps. I don't trust any of this. It's nonsense. I want to recount. I'm done.
Yeah, I want to see the Steele dossier.
How would all these players possibly fall into their lap? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this is.
No, this team is a little bit too well constructed, in my opinion. So while we were saying only an extra $5, I think we might have to enforce some type of penalty. No, they haven't. Nothing has happened yet, but we're gonna have to do some type of penalty.
Well, they do have a young ho on their team, so maybe we could out them as being like politically incorrect or something.
Yeah.
We could do that. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I love.
Denny, you like young ho, right, bro?
Young ho.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Okay. Here are the picks I really liked. I was actually going to go in the 7th round for Josh Allen. I was one pick away from taking him over. I think I ended up with Ben Roethlisberger. So that one has upset me a little bit. That's a great pick by them. The 1st round pick of Derrick Henry. This was their keeper. He's going to be one of the top 5 running backs in the league if he stays healthy. They have added no depth behind him in Tennessee. I believe they gave him a contract extension in the offseason. They plan to continue to be a run-first offense. Now, this guy's going to see the rock. Where Derrick Henry has risk is that he has no upside in the catches. And being a half-point PPR league, you can be leaving something on the table. That being said, he's still going to be a top 5 running back.
Yeah.
So their 2nd round pick of Travis Kelce makes sense. This is close to a wide receiver 1 with the amount of receptions and targets he's going to receive. I would have taken, I think it makes sense at 20 overall, the 20th pick. Fair.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be there much longer.
No. Exactly. So my favorite pick is going to be J.K. Dobbins in the 5th round. This kid is a rookie. He's a running back for the Baltimore Ravens and is going to be a superstar. He is supposed to be a better talent than Clyde Edwards-Helaire in Kansas City. But because of the depth chart he's playing behind is unlikely to – they're not anticipating a large workload from him right off the bat. But he will eventually be the superstar in Baltimore. So I really like this pick. It's in the middle of the draft in the 5th round. I think it's a lot of upside. This is a pretty balanced team, in my opinion. They were very good at grabbing good value. What I think could be their weakness, in my opinion, is the depth of running back behind Derrick Henry. David Montgomery is a good starter. Already hurt. He would have been a good RB2 if he hadn't been hurt. But what I think they're going to rely on is J.K. Dobbins getting a larger role sooner in order to be successful.
Yeah. I think this is a tremendous team, a really good team. And I would normally question it, but then at the same time, Katie has one more trophies. She's got more hardware than I do. So maybe she knows what she's doing and we're just not giving her enough credit.
Hold on. She also won the ass too. I don't want to hear it.
So she's the slashy. She's won both.
Flashy.
But no, this is a great team. some of the players that I think she got a good value. I think if I recall, Stephon Diggs was
sixth.
Yeah, he went quite a while before he got grabbed, and I was eyeing him had he fallen to me. But yeah, that's an incredible value for that guy. And also, I think with talking about the running back situation, it's a detriment to my team because I have Adrian Peterson, but they're saying that Antonio Gibson down there in Washington has been drawing a lot of attention and could wind up getting a lion's share of the carries. So she may have something going there as well if Dobbins doesn't pick up.
It is strange to just see it say Washington football team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I agree with you too, Alex. Josh Allen, where he was, and the talent that the guy can possess, he can air it out and put up a ton of yards. So that's a very good pick as well. I think this is going to be a challenging team to beat.
Yeah, and just to add, we're seeing. I missed the Stephon Diggs here. I'm drinking, so Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. That's a nice combo to have. They're going to be looking to make this. They traded a lot to get this kid. In terms of Diggs, they're going to, not the David Johnson level of have to make it work, but Josh Allen is a fantasy football superstar in terms of production. So you have Diggs. But also the sneaky pick is their 10th round pick of Mecole Hardman. He's gonna fill in for Tyreek Hill when Hill goes down. This was a guy I was also targeting. I don't know if I was just talking out loud or wrote down my cheat sheet or something, but they kept snagging players I wanted. So Mecole Hardman was a guy I wanted because I had gone with Hill and I wanted that insurance policy. Either that or Sammy Watkins, which my wife grabbed. So nothing I can do about that one.
Do you think they conspired against you?
I do. There's 100% collusion.
You think there's a chance they drugged you? They slipped you a Mickey?
Oh, I'm cool with that though. That's fine. That's it. Okay.
Dude, that would be awesome if somebody gave me a Mickey. See you later.
I guess if you had to pick one thing on this team, would it be maybe going the 2-quarterback approach with knowing how well Josh Allen is supposed to be,
Yes.
As a player. So I guess you could have picked up some additional, high-end talent there, another wide receiver, running back, or a tight end even.
I was going to say a tight end. Dennis, you guys know how I feel about 2 QBs on your roster when you have limited bench spots. I would have definitely gone with another tight end. And if Josh Allen didn't play out, just stream somebody. I think because, Brian, one of the things I'm going to highlight in your roster I like is that you snagged another tight end, Dallas Goedert, who I think is going to get.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he was out there at that point.
I know. I think that was a great pick, especially with Rager going down. Rager wasn't hurt at this point, but it's going to work out nicely because it's going to be. I think he's going to see a lot of.
Yeah, he's got great hands, and he catches everything that comes his way. And I think that they're probably see a little bit more of him.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, one thing that I wish that the ESPN added here that I think would be neat, not only the projected finish, but a projected record. I think that would be just a cool idea to see what they would do. So just for league history, in order to qualify for the playoffs, you have to be above. On average, it is 7 wins, 6 losses. Has been the line right at the bar. Okay, we haven't seen anybody get in with a losing record yet. Not that that's impossible, but for reference, to qualify for the playoffs, it's typically 7-6.
All right.
So I like this squad. I think they did a great job. They stole a lot of my picks. So I'm just going to go with great minds think alike. I'm not looking forward to playing this team if it stays healthy.
I'm still going Russian spy. I don't know
They
this
hacked my
dude.
notes.
I don't know this dude, but if he's Russian spying you, we'll get him.
He's already over. He's all over it. All right,
Those
D-Rock.
Russians for real in real life, though, they're gangster. They just poison people and do whatever they feel like, run a car off the road. Like, it's not even a conspiracy theory.
It really is Rocky. It really is Rocky 4.
I got to play hockey this morning. First time since COVID started. They
Just
have all
spit
of
'em,
these
guys.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, like you have to wear the minute you have your shoulder pads on now and your jersey, you're allowed to take your mask off because it's safe. I don't know, whatever. But it's all these dudes. They have us like we were literally getting dressed in the lobby and scattered throughout the rink. It was the most ridiculous shit show you've ever seen. But the reason I brought this up is a few of the players are Russians, and they are just a different breed, man. They are just the funniest individuals. Like you want to be around them just because like the stories they're talking about like are just insane. It's not real life. Like what goes on at their homes is just borderline horrifying.
Dude, we know when we worked at the Fudge Kitchen, they had all kinds of Russians coming over, and we would have to give them rides home or go to their crazy parties. It was nuts. The one hit me up a couple of years ago. He's like, "Are you the guy who used to drive me home all the time?" I'm like, yes. And you never wore deodorant.
Yeah, it was put on us to tell them that too.
I mean, you're cool, but can you please get some deodorant? Yeah, dude's named Igor and Danis. I'm like,
Danis, yes.
Popov, Anton. Yeah, it's too fun.
Yeah, those dudes are a different breed, man.
Yeah. All right, D-Rock, you are projected to finish 5th overall.
That's right.
Why don't you walk us through your roster and tell us what you like about it, what you don't?
Yeah, I was spying on this one today because I need some help.
Yeah, I like. I obviously I like my first pick with Josh Jacobs, for running back.
What made you real quick? What made you decide not to keep Mahomes or try for Mahomes the first pick?
No, so I couldn't. No, I had Mahomes. Did I have Mahomes last year? No, I couldn't protect it. I had Mahomes.
You had Mahomes
this past year, right? I could have kept Devontae Parker this year.
That's right.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Devontae Adams, yeah.
Yeah, and so my only thought process there was, even though it's going to be, a top wide receiver, was just afraid that they didn't put enough weapons in Green Bay, so he's going to be the only thing Aaron Rodgers can throw to, so they're just going to double up on him. And I think his numbers are going to dip this year just from that aspect. I think you'll see, he'll have to constantly feed him the ball because he's the only one that can catch it. But I just wasn't confident there. I thought I could have maybe snuck into – I wasn't going to get him, but another really nice top-tier wide receiver, in the second is what I was hoping for.
Had it snaked properly.
Come on, man. I'm losing sleep over that.
You just did a Joe Biden. You went, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Do I look like I care? Joe, come on.
But my approach was, as I said the other night, I also tended to steer away from loading up with a bunch of guys at the same bye week. So I left some guys on the table there for those reasons, and just tried going with the next most talented player after that, I thought suited my needs. So, and that wouldn't conflict with any bye weeks.
By the time you got down to like the Buccaneers, you didn't care, right?
Yeah, kicking in.
Well, see, now it's an intriguing one because the Buccaneers didn't have a terrible defense last year.
Nope.
And Bruce Arians is a pretty good defensive coach. So I was kind of thinking they're going to have to keep them in a lot of games this year, in my opinion. So I thought it was a decent grab, but yeah.
So Dennis, I would actually agree with you. And here's why I think the Buccaneers are a sleeper DST. If I could call for one, the Buccaneers defense got a bad reputation last year because really of Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston was so erratic in turning over the ball. Would, and it wasn't like they were at the opposing 5-yard line. It was in their own end of the field.
Airing it out.
Yeah, and it's a momentum game.
So those turnovers are going to drop. So they're not going to be on the field as much. They're not going to be looking to, prevent these short scoring plays. So I don't think this is a bad pick. I mean, DSTs are so hard to predict anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree for those reasons. Especially when you had a guy like Jameis Winston, who even after the end of the season last year, he throws for 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. and they ask him, and he goes, "If you look at my numbers, I'm balling." You're like, hey, you suck.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, I'm balling. Yeah, dude, you threw a lot of fucking interceptions.
Go ice the arm, baby. You threw a lot of
Yeah.
That's
Jesus
pretty
Christ.
awesome. Come on.
To still
All right,
love
so
yourself after
I
that.
like Zach Ertz at third. I mean,
Who's your favorite pick?
that's a great grab there. I think that rounds out this team really nicely.
Who's your favorite pick, D-Rock?
I think my favorite pick is I got two. I think it's my tight ends. I think I really like Ertz, but I also think Blake Jarwin is going to step in. Jason Witten's gone. He's the dump off guy.
You have fun players on teams that I would actually watch. So you got, Philly, Miami, of course, New Orleans. Like, I would watch all these games.
Right.
It's going to make the football season pretty fun for you if you're going to get into it.
It's also weird because it looks like I went almost.
Yeah, all NFC.
Yeah, I'm very NFC heavy, and maybe that's because of my I follow it so much more closely.
Who watches
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's kind of freak. Psychos.
I like the CD Lamb pick personally. Ninth round. This kid, I think, could have a big year, and maybe next year be your keeper. For me, when I'm getting into the, and again, I don't know if my strategies are right or wrong. It's just my mindset that I'll share with everyone is that, when I get in the 8th round, I'm trying to see what's the player I might be able to keep for next year. Now, with the amount of transactions I have, that's, it's hard to keep players on the roster for that long, but that's kind of how I approach the draft is who could I potentially keep next year and not have to sacrifice a high round pick. Because that's how I feel like I generate the most value for a player. So for me, it's CD Lamb. I think is your best pick there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to have a good season. But, yeah, I like the team.
Like you have to tinker with this one because I think this is a pretty nice team.
I'm planning on trying an approach to where I don't feel as if I'll need to. So I'm hoping I don't have to do a whole lot. And like I said, if I think I've got some room too when it comes down to needing to address a quarterback for bye week. I can look at any of these guys like a D.D. Westbrook, kind of throw them out there for a week, take a chance and pick up a quality backup quarterback for a week and then try and get them back to following. So.
All right. So you said you're going to take an approach where you don't think you need to tinker so much.
Right.
All right. So Brian, with that being said, let's just take a real quick look at something.
He was the team I was spying on. I'm not going to lie.
Let's see. Dennis, let's see. I'm going to pull up. Here's what I want to do.
All right.
I want to set the line at the number of transactions you will have this year. And Brian and I are going to bet over or under. So on average, all right. So in the 4 years or 4 years we've had, you've made 187 transactions. You have averaged 47 transactions a season. Brian, do you think it is over or under 47 transactions this year?
I feel like this is one of the better teams he's drafted. But there's some question marks, right? So you do he's going to move Adrian Peterson. He's not going to like Drew Brees. Something's going to happen here. So
my problem is,
I'm going to say he hits 49 transactions in a panic to try to make the playoffs.
Okay, I'm going to take the over as well, and I will do 53.
Ooh, all right, sweet.
Yeah. All right.
And that's, it's also part of the problem because I can't sit back and let the guys develop. I get after week 1, I'm like, this isn't going to happen.
Yep.
Gone. And there's so many players like that I wind up regretting had I just given them a week or two to just progress and fall into a role. But yeah, I'm sure of it. Adrian Peterson will get like 10 touches week 1.
Yeah, you'll throw him out.
God, this guy is done.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, shnikes. I just realized we skipped Brian here. He was number 6.
He was. I had him ranked as
It changed again, I think.
Oh, did it?
I think I went down.
Okay. You were
Possibly
fourth,
not.
but now I see you're at sixth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I missed you. I apologize. So
No
Dennis
worries.
is projected to finish fifth. Brian, you are projected to finish sixth. So let's go back and take a look at your squad. Why don't you do the same thing? Just walk us through what you like about your team, what you were thinking, who your favorite pick is, and maybe what you would have done differently.
Yeah, so great. Happy to have Elliott back on the team. He's been my go-to guy for the last 3 of 4 years. Trading to get him back so that I can make him my first or my keeper. The first year we did keeper, so there's a lot of strategy to build my team around this guy. Prescott, picking him up just for numbers. I think he's got some receivers around him this year. He's getting better. He's hitting his prime, I would say, and I think he's going to have a lot of good targets. So Prescott seemed obvious to me at that point.
And it's a big contract year for him. This is it. You know,
he's got to make it happen, right?
Yeah.
Let's see some of my other favorites here. Of course, when I had Adam Thielen sitting there at 28, I had to grab him.
Absolutely.
Need a wide receiver. Saw that things weren't snaking in my direction, so I said, got to jump up here. Followed by Todd Gurley, which I was kind of excited about. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but as far as I know, Atlanta really needs him.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a different Todd Gurley. I mean, that's kind of oxymoronic to say. Different Todd Gurley's led the league in touchdowns in the past, like, even with injuries and stuff like that, in like 3 of the past 4 or 5 seasons. So he's just still a great player, and I think he's going to be rejuvenated and much better in Atlanta than a situation there. And, he'll get more than just the goal line. Like he was getting in LA. So I think that's a great pick. I love your running backs, your tandem running backs there. I think that's a great combination.
Yeah, I just have to kind of dial things in around those guys because later on in the draft, tried to be a little bit more risky in grabbing some running backs, but protecting myself at the tight end spot. As we already talked about, seeing Dallas there that late in the game, I was just watching the picks go, and I'm like, well, auto draft isn't going to get him, so I had the opportunity and I grabbed him.
You got him right before Chaz did.
Yeah, I'm sure
he was
there.
itching for him.
I think it's going to be a rocky start based on what I've seen out of my guys so far. We got a couple of broken thumbs, a couple of sprained shoulders here. So Mike Williams is questionable for the beginning of the season. That really sucks because I need him in that lineup. And that puts me in a spot to kind of go out there and look for wide receiver help just for week 1, which shows that the overall build of this team could be shaky. Basically, the only other sleeper in there, I was happy to see Sony Michel there at the end. I know that the Philly guys were definitely bickering about it and trying to decide whether or not they wanted to go with him. And maybe they didn't know the news was that he was expected back week 1, right? And at the time we drafted, he wasn't. He was up in the air. So it helped him fall into my spot. So I got some trade bait and just happy to see this team come together.
Yeah. One thing – oh, God.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. Fournette just signed with the Bucks.
The Bucks. Wow.
Yeah. So
talking about next week.
So that affects
yeah. That team is going to be. I think that's going to make that team legit. Yeah. Ronald Jones is probably not the running back that he thought he was.
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, whoever had Jones was banking on him being an RB1. Probably took him decent.
Basic freeze. You're in some trouble here now.
And went from having a nice situation.
Well, that just made Sarah look like a genius, right?
Absolute genius. Yeah.
Yeah. So last week you were saying you were.
We're not recording this, right?
And you think about the value they get him at too, because he went through waivers, which means his salary wasn't committed to. So, and all that he was due was $4.5 million. So he probably signed for less than that. Probably signed, to that team for $3 million.
Under 4, absolutely.
Yeah. But
we'll dive into that one a little bit later. Brian, back to your squad. I like the Gurley pick here. It's not too early. Gurley, I think, is going to see a return to catching passes. Like Dennis said, he was just last year, he had production solely because he was getting touchdowns, but from within the 5-yard line. He wasn't having big runs. The Rams line was crap. They weren't passing to him. The dink and dunk passes that he used to eat up, I think, are going to come back. So Gurley, I think, is going to be a very serviceable running back too. I like your running backs. I like pick 124 in the 8th round, Alexander Madison. Dalvin Cook is apparently there's this contract issue is not over. Adam Schefter tweeted that it would give him pause to draft Dalvin Cook if a new contract is not in place by the end of training camp.
Really?
Yeah. So you might be coming out with an RB1 in round 8. So I think
that was the news on him, right? It was basically injury prone. Dalvin Cook was questionable to make it through the whole season, and this guy will get plugged in.
I think exactly. So great pick. I told you I already love the Dallas Goedert one. I hate Dak Prescott. That's more of a personal thing than a fantasy football thing. The Evan Ingram pick in the 4th round, I thought was a little early because he doesn't make it through the season. He's injury prone. When he stays healthy, he's an elite tight end. But I think he's coming on his 4th year and he hasn't played a full season. But it could be like Zach Ertz, where Zach Ertz wasn't playing a full year now. And when he finally did, he was a top 3 elite tight end.
Yeah,
if Ingram is able to pull that together, I think you have that tight end.
I went for 2 reasons there, right? So you got fresh quarterback, and he's going to be looking for hands. And then by round 3, tight ends were going. So if you even want to get a starter, you got to grab one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. No, it's a good look. The only reason I don't like it is because he's injury prone. Yeah. Other than that, I think this kid could be. I mean, when he plays, he's a stud.
I don't know what ESPN is seeing about this team that makes them feel so great, other than past numbers, right? I mean, these are guys.
You have Elliott, Thielen, Gurley. These guys are going to projected to be good. You have Ingram, which he's going to have high projections, and Dak Prescott, which because of the addition of CeeDee Lamb in the combo of Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, and Cooper, he's going to have a monster year.
Yeah.
Henderson, I think, is projected to be the starter for now. If I heard he has a hamstring injury, though. So that's the only issue with him. But other than that, I mean, this is a well-balanced squad. You didn't go with a second quarterback, so I love that. The run, Sony Michel, if this kid comes, I think he went so late because everybody was afraid he was going to be put on the PUP. And not come off it until like week 8. Seeing he's already back in camp, this kid could turn into a steal.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, just at the end there. And then the news on the Bengals was that they were kind of decent, that they were going to be a potential breakout. So for similar reasons to why Denny took his defense, I did the same. Looking for a sleeper here.
Yeah. But I think, kind of just circling back to your tight ends, I think the only thing I really like the Goddard pick, but in my opinion, his season goes one of 2 ways, as everyone's season. That's the most cliche thing to say. But I think it's the effect of the tackle position. With Dillard going down, Matt Pryor's in that position, not looking like they're moving Peters over there. So does Goddard have to pick up extra blocking protection to help out? But that can also help because if a play breaks down quickly, he rolls out and he sees a ton of, he almost becomes like a running back in that position and sees a ton of catches. So that's what I mean. He's either going to get sucked up with a lot of, pass protection, having to be almost another lineman out there, or like you'll get the breakout plays and they'll just roll out and just dump it off to him.
And big giant trades don't happen too often mid-season for players, but he's a guy that everybody in the league has eyes on.
Oh, yeah.
He's stuck behind Ertz, but he's got hands that just grab everything that comes his way. I mean, if we got the right deal, a team that needs draft picks and desperately needs to find the next superstar, I think that the Birds could potentially move a kid like this.
He's just got a soft jaw.
Or Ertz?
I think that they could move either way, really. But
Yeah.
I think that they would probably. I would say they'd move Goddard because everybody's looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have more control over that contract
Yeah, definitely.
at a more of a reasonable rate.
So what? We got 5 left.
3.
Top
We have
3.
3 left.
Yeah,
Okay.
top 3.
Should we
Top
do
3.
another podcast? You want to do them tonight?
You want to
We
just
got-
crank them out?
What do we got lined out for next week?
Right now, I don't have any topics other than just, we could go through the matchups and do. I was thinking we could do a pick 'em. We make our guesses on who we think's going to win despite the projections.
Yeah, let's do top 3 and projections and pick'ems next week.
Got it.
Split them up a little bit, make the crowd wait.
Yeah.
You got it. I like to split it up and keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I will see everybody soon.
All right, guys.
All right. Very
Great
good.
talking to you.
Have a
All
good
right,
night.
talk to you guys.
See ya.